السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الفاتحة لله الحمد لله بشأن الله الحمد لله جنة الآخرة وعلى حضرة النبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نويت التعلم والتعليم وتذكر وتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله والدعاء إلى الهدى والدلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. We continue with our Daris on Kitab Risalatul Jami'ah by Habib Ahmad bin Zain al-Habshi. So we have stopped at last week, hostility towards the lower ego. Yeah, so the next one is the love of Allah and His Messenger. ومحبة الله ورسوله وصحابته وأهل بيته والتابعين والصالحين. So the love of Allah, the first is the love of Allah and His Messenger. This is of the virtues of the hearts. So it's actually mandatory and requested from all believers to love Allah and His Messenger. It is a must. So Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu reported that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there are three qualities whoever has them will taste the sweetness of iman: to love Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than anyone else, to love a slave of Allah only for the sake of Allah, and to abhor returning to infidelity after Allah has saved him from it, as he would abhor to be thrown into the fire of hell. Hadith Bukhari and Muslim. And in the Quran, Allah also say, if you do love God, follow me, God will love you. So this shows that Allah is commanding us to love. He asked Rasulullah SAW, the messenger, to say, to tell us, say, if you do love God, follow me. That means follow Rasulullah SAW, God will love you. So from here we know that it is mandatory to love. In order for Allah to love us, we must love Rasulullah SAW. Then God will love you. So loving Allah and the Messenger is mandatory for all believers. So okay, the next one is love of Allah and His Messenger and His companions. So sahabatihi. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever loved all my companions, followed them and sought forgiveness for them, God will make him with them on the day of resurrection in heaven, in Yawm al-Qiyamah, in Jannah. So Rasulullah ﷺ say, whoever loved them, love all my companions, my Sahaba, and followed them and seek forgiveness for them, Allah will raise them in the day of resurrection in heaven with them. That is the Sahaba. That means if you love, you are resurrected with whom you love. There is another hadith on that. You are al-mar'u ma'a man ahabba man ahab. So then the Prophet ﷺ also said, for a servant to be found in the sins of servants is better for him than to hate a man amongst my companions, for it is a sin that will not be forgiven on the day of resurrection. So this is clear that Rasulullah SAW is saying that it's better for you to have so many sins rather than having a sin that will not be forgiven on the day of resurrection, that is hating anyone amongst my Sahaba, my companions. So from here we can see the importance of loving the Sahaba and following them. There are many virtues, many things that has Rasulullah SAW has said about the Sahaba, praising them and saying that they are the best to be followed after Rasulullah SAW have left. Amongst them are the Khulafa al-Rashidun, the four of them, Khalifah Sayyidina Abu Bakar, Umar, Uthman, Sayyidina Ali. So all this, after that, uh, they are included in the Sahaba, and they are the best among the Sahaba. And the Prophet ﷺ also said, God has chose companions for me, and He made for me amongst them ministers and in-laws. Whoever insults them, whoever insults them, upon him the curse of Allah and all the angels and mankind. So this is another hadith showing that we should love the Sahaba, and also not insult them or hurt them. So we must be very careful when we're talking about the Sahaba. We must be very careful. The best is to love them wholeheartedly, and any disputes among them we just ignore. That is between them. In Zubat it is said, wama jara baina sahabah naskutu. Anything that any disputes that just keep quiet, naskutu. So and then the Prophet said, fear Allah, Allah fi ashabi. Fear Allah regarding my companions. Do not make them objects of insults after me. Whoever loves them, it is out of love of me that he loves them. And whoever hates them, it is out of hatred for me that he hates them. And whoever harms them, he has harmed me. And whoever harms me, he has offended Allah. And whoever offends Allah, then he shall soon be punished. This is a weak narration, weak hadith, but still we can use uh, for amal, what is that, for practice. That is, it is a reminder for us not to hurt the Sahaba and the family of Rasulullah SAW. And what Rasulullah SAW has remind us that do not make them objects of insults after me. That means after the passing of Rasulullah SAW, do not insult them and love them and follow them. So because whoever love them, that means they love Rasulullah SAW, and whoever hates them, hates them, hates Rasulullah SAW, and offends Rasulullah SAW. So that is very dangerous. Then love of his family, followed by his family, Sahaba wa mahabbatullah wa rasulihi wa sahabatihi wa ahli baitihi wa tabi'in wa salihin wa ahli baitihi. So ahlul baitihi, that means his family, the ahlul bait. Habib Ahmad bin Zain used the word wa sahabatihi wa ahli baitihi. That means he is saying ahlul baitihi. Ahlul baitihi, this can mean a lot of things. That means from the generally we take Ahlul Bayt as the people of the house of the Messenger Sallallahu. So who are them? We will go through after this. So narrated by Ibn Abbas, Rasulullah Sallallahu said, "Whoever loved my companions and my wives and the people of my household, and did not challenge, go against any of them, and left the world with their love, will be with me in my rank on the day of resurrection." So this is also another hadith showing the level of Sahaba and Al Bayt, and the wives, Ummahatul Mu'minin, the wives of the prophets, the wives of the Prophet Sallallahu. So all these people special to Rasulullah Sallallahu. So we should honor them like Rasulullah Sallallahu have asked, has commanded us, requested us uh, to honor them and love them. There's no loss in loving someone. It's just so it is mentioned that some scholars mention that Ahlul Bayt are only four of them: Imam Ali bin Abi Talib, Sayyidat Fatimah Zahra, Sayyidina Al Hasan wal Husain. They are also known as Ahlul Kisa. Ahlul Kisa, there are five. These four and plus Rasulullah SAW. These are we call them Ahlul Kisa because there was when uh, the ayah from the Quran, one ayah came down and Rasulullah SAW gathered Imam Ali, Sayyidah Fatimah Zahra, Al Hasan Al Hussein, and with himself, so five of them, and he took a blanket and cover all of them, like five of them under the blanket, and pray for them. So they are known as Ahlul Kisa. So there is no doubt that Ahlul Kisa is in Ahlul Bayt. They are the people of the house. But what is also meant here is the more of the Ahlul Bayt. Ahlul Bayt, that means the family of Rasulullah SAW. So Al is family. Ahl is also family, but Al is like a bigger family. It's like the relatives also included. So what is the difference between Ahlul, Ahlul Bayt, Ahlul Nabi, Ahlul Nabi, Ahlul Bayt, and descendants of the Prophet, Durriyatul Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So first we look at the Quran. Allah said, Allah only wishes to remove uncleanness from you, O members of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam household, and to purify you completely. This is a famous, very ayah from the Quran. You always hear this. So basically, we can break down Alu Muhammad. It means Alu Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They are Alu Nabi, Bani Hashim and Bani Muttalib. This is the Mu'tamad because Al actually means family. So yeah, and some scholars also say Al can also be kullu mu'minin tagi. Kullu mu'minin tagi. That means all the believers who are who obey Allah. And some say walau asi. Annahum kullu mu'minin walau asi. That means all believers, even if they are disobedient. So some of them have broken down that when we talking about doa, when we doa for the Ahlul Bayt, Ahlul Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then we are referring to all the believers all believers, even if they are obedient, disobedient, whatever, as long as they are believers. So when we doa, that's what we are referring to. Then second is when we are status of praise. When we are praising the Al Nabi, then they are the, the believers who are obedient. And the third one is when we're talking about Al Nabi in zakat, then we are referring to Bani Hashim and Bani Muttalib. This one is agreed upon. Ittifaqan that Bani Hashim and Bani Muttalib, only them, they are those who cannot receive zakah. So they are confirm this refer Ahlul Bayt refer to them. So back to just now, back to Alu Muhammad. So Alu Muhammad is Bani Hashim and Bani Muttalib. So some scholars also include Ummahatul Mu'minin, the wives of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, as Alu Nabi, Alu Muhammad. Then Ahlul Bayt, there are four. This is agreed upon. Imam Ali, Sayyidina Fatimah Zahra, Al-Hasan al-Husain. This is agreed upon. Then some scholars say Ummahatul Mu'min also is included in the Ahlul Bayt. Then some added that since the four, Imam Ali, Sayyidatul Fatimah Zahra, Al-Hasan al-Husain, there's no dispute that they are the Ahlul Bayt because they live in the same house. And after that, even after that they move. But Rasulullah SAW, there is a hadith when he addressed them as Ahlul Bayt. So this is agreed upon, these four. So their descendants from the from Al-Hasan and Hussein are also considered Ahlul Bayt because since there's no dispute that these four is the Ahlul Bayt. But there are many terminologies. I mean, many interpretation on this Ahlul Bayt, and the descendants of Rasulullah SAW. So, but the more general one is like this: Ahlul Bayt is the Bani Hashim and Bani Muttalib, and Ahlul Bayt is the four: Sayyidina Ali, Imam Ali, Sayyidina Fatimah Zahra, Al Hasan, Al Hussein, and the descendants. And Ahlul Kisa is the messenger of Rasulullah, the messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Imam Ali bin Abi Talib, Sayyidina Fatimah Zahra, Al Hasan, Al Hussein is Ahlul Kisa. This is also agreed upon. Then they said the descendants of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, those who have lineage to Al Hasan or Hussein through the father, only through the father. This is special for Rasulullah SAW because there is a hadith mentioning that everybody, the lineage goes back to the father except for my lineage. I mean that means his descendant, Rasulullah SAW, his descendant is through Fatimah Zahra. That means have to go through Al Hasan and Hussein. So this lineage go back to Sayyidina Ali and also Sayyidina Fatimah Zahra, and goes back to Rasulullah SAW through Fatimah Zahra. So this is special for him. Then what else? Yeah. Then after that, mentioned Abdurrahman carry on the love of Tabi'in. After Sahabah, Al-Baitihi, wa Tabi'in. Tabi'in is the second generation of Muslims. That means those who have followed or succeeded the teachings from the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. So the first generation is, of course, during the generation of Rasulullah ﷺ, the time of Rasulullah ﷺ, and those who met him and spent time with him, or even spend even just some time with him, just once or maybe a few minutes with him, they are considered the companions, the Sahaba. But those who didn't meet him but met his companions, they are considered Tabi'in, followers. Tabi' means to follow. So Tabi'in, that means followers. So this Tabi'in, they did a lot of things for Islam in general. So they received the Sunnah or the way of the Prophet ﷺ from the companions, because they didn't meet Rasulullah ﷺ. The companions, they met Rasulullah ﷺ. Of course, they would have understood Islam better than anybody else, because Rasulullah ﷺ taught them directly. The Quran was explained to them directly. I mean, at the time of when the Prophet ﷺ was still alive. So they can ask Rasulullah ﷺ and get the answer directly. There's no problem. Then, after the passing of Rasulullah ﷺ, then those who studied from the companion are called Tabi'in. So they got the Sunnah, the prophetic way from the companions who received from Rasulullah ﷺ, and including they transmitted this thing, this practical behavioral and conceptual knowledge from the companions to the world, then they are considered the best of generations after the companions, because there are many hadith implying that the best generation is the generation where Rasulullah SAW is still alive. Then after that, the generation after that, and the generation after that, and after that, there will be problems. There will be all sorts of uh, problems. So they put in great effort, the Tabi'in, they put in great effort in the compilation and preservation of the Sunnah by practicing the Sunnah and practicing what has been taught to them from the Sahaba. And after that, they did da'wah. They did da'wah a lot to spread uh, the, the Islam and the concept, the da'wah of Islam and the concept together with it, the practical and the concept and whatever has been transmitted to them from the Sahaba who who knows Islam uh, much better. So they brought that down. They what brought that down to the tabi'in, and this tabi'in did a lot of work, and they wrote down a lot of hadith and whatever they have learned, and the concepts they wrote down accurate detailed oral transmission of sayings and teachings of the Prophet SAW, and also teachings of the messengers companions also has been written down. They wrote down all, and even Hasan al Basri is one of them. He said that there is there's nothing better than a wonderful gift of a book for preserving something like that. For preserving knowledge. That he means that the best way to preserve knowledge is to write down, into a book, and because the book can be preserved, and someone who read the book can pass the book. It's a method of way of preserving knowledge, of course, with the correct explanation. The Prophet ﷺ said, the best people are those of my generation, and then those who will come after them, the next generation. That means he's referring to the Tabi'in. And then those who will come after them, that means the next generation after the Tabi'in. That means the Tabi'in, the followers of the companions. Then after that, then after them will come people whose witness will precede their oaths, and whose oaths will precede their witness. Hadith Bukhari. So it's clear that uh, that's why all the ahkam in the fiqh matter, jurisprudence, and many ahkam are made from the Quran and Hadith that has been collected within the first 300 years, the first three generations. Because of this Hadith, uh, saying that after that there will be problems. Even within that 300 years, the three generations, there are false Hadith and so on. But they managed to. Allah has made uh, many scholars that able to distinguish which are the hadith that are sahih, which the problematic hadith, and all this. And so Islamic jurisprudence has been created during that time. Has been stabilized during that time. Then after that, it came down to us. So the best of the tabi'in by the people of Medina, they say, is Sa'id bin al-Musayyab. So this is according to the people of Medina. Then according to the people of Kufa, in Kufa is in Iraq, the best of the tabi'in by the people of Kufa is Uwais al-Qarni. And Uwais al-Qarni, no doubt, has a lot of uh, what is that? Uh, narrations about him that he's a uh, extremely like pious man, and got he got a what is that? Mm, he is mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ. Even Uwais al-Qarni did not meet Rasulullah ﷺ. He lived during Rasulullah ﷺ's time, but he did not get to meet Rasulullah ﷺ because of taking after his mother. So he told, I think, Imam Ali, and he told the companions that if you meet Uwais al-Qarni, ask for dua from him, because his dua is uh, an istighfar from him because his dua is makbul, is accepted by God. So Imam Ali and Sayyidina Umar actually met him after the passing of Rasulullah, the Prophet ﷺ. So there was during the Hajj time, Sayyidina Umar and Sayyidina Ali, Sayyidina Umar, I think, yeah, when people gather from Hajj, he said, okay, all those people of this kind of, he gathered the people and the Hujjaj, people doing the Hajj, and he 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 asked those who come from this the area, please stand up. Okay, then the people stand up. Then okay, from this village stand up. Then from Karan, where West Al Karni came from, then there's only one person left, one person. Then he asked the old man, he said, "Do you know Uwais Al Karni?" He said, "Yes." Where is he? Did he come for Hajj? Yeah, he said, "Yes," but then he is taking care of a camel, taking care of camels in somewhere, in Arafah or somewhere. So Sayyidina Umar and Sayyidina Ali went to meet him, and he was praying. I think he was praying. Then once he finished his prayer, then uh, Sayyidina Umar and Ali asked him, "What's your name?" Eh, uh, "What's your name?" Yeah. He said, uh, "The servant of Allah." Then, yeah, I know, but what is your given name? Then he said, Ways. Then I forgot his name. Ways, for us, his name is Ways. So uh, then Sayyidina Umar or Sayyidina Ali gave the father's name, Al Qarni. Then he said, how come you know my full name? And he said, no, Rasulullah SAW told us about you. Oh, then he was so happy that Rasulullah SAW spoke about me. Uh, so after that, they seek uh, dua from them and all from Ways. I mean, so the best of Tabi'in by the people of Basra, also in Iraq, is Hasan al-Basri and Qais bin Abi Hazm. So these are just these are considered the best of the Tabi'in. And these Tabi'in are succeeded by Tabi'in. Tabi'in is the third generation of Muslim, also who also have a very high status in Islam, because they are also mentioned in the above hadith that they are the best people, the best generation after the tabi'in. So after that is all problems. Then Ahmad continued, the love of the righteous ones, salihin. So they are those who are the salihin, they are those who diligently uphold the rights of Allah and the rights of ibadullah, creations of Allah. And they are loved by Allah and deserving of His blessings and praise. So Anas bin Malik narrated, a man asked Rasulullah SAW about the hour, the day of judgment, saying, when will be the hour? When will the hour be? The Prophet SAW said, what have you prepared for it? The man said, nothing except that I love Allah and His Messenger. The Prophet ﷺ said, you will be with those you will be with those whom you love. Then after that, the hadith, the narration goes, we had never been so glad as we were on hearing the saying of the Prophet ﷺ, you will be with those whom you love. Therefore, I love the Prophet Abu Bakr and Umar, and I hope that I will be with them because of my love for them, though my deeds are not similar to theirs. Hadith Bukhari. So, Rasul, from this narration, it is said that Rasulullah SAW said, you will be with those whom you love. So, of course, we want to love the people that Allah loves. Uh, so, amongst them are the Salihin, the Khulafa Rashidin, the Tabi'in, the Sahaba, and also, of course, Rasulullah SAW. That's mandatory. You have to love Rasulullah SAW. And inshallah, we will be raised with the same ranks of these people, the Salihin and the Sahaba and the Awliya and all. So that's why we have to love them. That's why we have to love the righteous ones. And the Prophet ﷺ said, when Allah loves a slave, calls out Jibril and says, I love so and so, so love him. Then Jibril loves him. And after that, Jibril announces to the inhabitants of heavens that Allah loves so and so, so love him. And the inhabitants of heavens, the angels also love him, and then make people on earth love him. So once Allah loves someone, it doesn't matter who they are. Once Allah loves him, Allah will make other creations love him. So that is also a sign of a person that Allah loves. When you see that people, others love him. Mm. Uh, yeah. So inshallah we can stop here. And next week we can continue with the satisfaction with Allah's rida. And inshallah we can end this topic by next week. Inshallah. Allahu alam. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا انفعنا بما علمتنا ربي علمنا الذي ينفعنا ربي فقهنا وفقه أهلنا وقرابة لنا في ديننا وأهل القدر أنت وذكر ربي وفقنا وفقهم لما ترضى قولا فعلا كرما وارزق الكل حلالا دائما وأقل وأخل أذكياء علماء نحظى بالخير ونطفى كل شر ربنا أصلح لنا كل شؤون وأقل بالرضا منك العيون واقض عنا ربنا كل الديون قبل أن تأتينا رسول المنون واغفر واستر أنت أكرم من ستر وصلاة الله تغشى المصطفى ومن إلى الحق دعانا والوفاء بكتاب فيه للناس الشفاء وعلى الآل الكرام الشرفاء وعلى الصحب مصابه الغرار اللهم اهدنا بهداك واجعلنا ممن يسارع في رضاك ولا تولينا وليا سواك ولا تجعلنا ممن خلف أمرك وعصاك وحسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العظيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم الحمد لله رب العالمين. الله أعلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.